Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's session of Beyond Forgotten Realms here on the MindTour Gaming stream. So, tonight we're one down, as we were last session, but not the same. Fortunately, Mikey's unable to join us, but continue on, and for now, Joey will have to pilot Bilkin. So last we left off, the group of you tracked down these orcs that captured a number of the villagers of Monk's Blade through the vast swamp, found them in the same place you've seen them once before. This large, twisted, dark, strange tree that they were speaking to Shargast to and praying the dweller below. You were able to fight off and kill the orcs that were there. Even the three that were leading this group. But not without some loss. Few of the villagers had died, and unfortunately, not all were able to be saved. Keth finally killing the last remaining orc that was fighting within the sphere of darkness before the tree, impaling him on his glaive and ripping his throat out. His own blood scattered across the floor before the tree. Slowly the sounds of combat in. So, start at that moment. Before we do, want to have anything they would like to discuss beforehand? I know between games we leveled up. Anyone get anything fun in particular that they'd like to share about their character?
I didn't get too much at level 6, unfortunately.
Okay.
I finally opted to learn a spell I could have learned last level, but I think it'll likely come into play at some point soon.
Awesome. I'm not quite sure about Belkin, but he'll share later on. Anything from a Lokian's end?
Yes. Alokian, as you all know, has been fighting with his faith, right? He's been fighting with his definition of the ending of suffering, what it means to be a follower of Ilmater. And so, of course, we started out as a cleric, and he was basically going upon the thought of protect the weak, uh, end the suffering for those smaller people. And then, as time went on, he slowly started to change his perception of what it means into destroying those that cause suffering. And between losing Corvin, Corvin, too many K's with you, Corda.
I know, it's awesome.
Yeah, there's kind of a thing there,
It's
I
a
guess.
trend.
Between losing Corvin and losing Zan, he's kind of gone off the deep end, so to say, with destroying evil. And now, once again, his faith has been tested with losing villagers that he was meant to protect. And so we've gone further down the Paladin trail. And ultimately, he has sworn an oath of vengeance. So we'll see how that plays out.
I have a tonic of might for tonight. Watch out, guys.
Uh-oh. All those nat 20s coming.
Oh, yeah. Thought I had them before. So, yeah, Alokian's going down more of a vengeful path to hunt down evildoers. All right. So, the sphere of darkness dissipates as the group of you stand. Kaz, you're down by the end of this like small cliff where there are a few villagers that were still tied up, and you were in the process of untying them. One of which is Tolan, the man that you met in the Flaming Dagger Inn, man that facilitated your meeting and tried to give you as best of an experience as possible.
Right.
No one else noticed him quite yet, as he's full of mud and dirt. You see one eye's pretty swollen and purple at this point. He looks like he's been through hell and back. Not too far beside him, a few feet tied up as well, is a bare-chested dwarf that also looks pretty bruised and beaten. But you would probably recognize him as the dwarf that was coughing up some blood as the group of you came into Monk's Blade. He's also tied up there. But the rest of the fighting was happening on top of the hill beside this large tree. And finally the sphere of darkness dissipates and you can see Keth impaling one of the leader orcs here and ripping his throat out as well. You see bodies and blood just kind of seeping to the dirt and mud and grass on top of the hill as well.
Olin, is that you? Are you all right?
Yeah.
Everything's going to be all right.
He looks around. Think you came when you did.
Aye. Glad we did. I'm glad you're all right.
I couldn't do anything. Help. Kind of looks down a bit. You see, what's your passive insight?
Passive insight is 12.
Yeah, you see a bit of shame begin to just kind of wash over his face, even though he's trying to hold back that feeling. It kind of shows through.
Around you, friend. It is clear very few could have. There's nothing to fear regarding this. Anyone in your situation would likely have succumbed the same, likely worse. If you have to feel anything, feel pride in remaining alive.
Up at the top of the hill, he nods. Up at the top of the hill, Gila's there trying to shift down and slide down the side of the cliff edge there to get to where Kaz is. And then a few moments later, Keth, what are you doing with the corpse of the orc that's currently impaled on your blade?
Keth would immediately shove him down and then quickly run to the bodies on the ground.
Okay.
And see if any of them are alive, kind of checking for pulses.
All right. And Alokian, you're there with Keth as well. What do you do?
Also checking to see if there's anyone to heal, rescue.
Okay. Belkin's still up the tree, about 30 feet, looking down, looking around with his crossbow, make sure there's no other threats. Trying to stay out of sight as best as possible. You begin to check the corpses that are on top. the villagers that were there, total of 4 of them, all 4 have been slain. Their throats have been slit, and there's just pools of blood just seeping across the ground. Lokian, your passive perception's high enough, right? It's 18?
Passive perception. Give me 1 second here.
Just go ahead and tell me everyone's passive perception real quick.
Passive perception is 15.
15?
15 for Keth
15.
as well.
Keth,
Yeah.
alright. Keth and Alokian, you see something strange as you're checking the pulse of and see if any of these people are alive. They're all definitely dead, including the orcs that you have there. But the blood that has come from the main 3 that were on top of that hill, the ones that seemed like they were leading this band group, their blood's a bit darker. See, it's so dark it's almost black. Then you also notice something else. The pools of blood slowly shifting. Instead of going down the hill, as they probably normally would do with gravity, the blood's kind of pooling and moving into the roots of this tree. And you can hear a crack as wood slowly begins to splinter. At the base of the tree where the group of you are, there's somewhat of a slight hollow in the tree where there's a number of skulls and old skeletons, corpses. But you can see in the inside of that, it slowly starts to splinter and open. A hole within the tree begins to open also into the earth. You can hear a hissing sound, as if air's just beginning to rush out of this crack that's slowly presenting itself before you.
Is it a big enough crack to like fit a person through?
As you're sitting there watching it, at first it's just slowly beginning to open, maybe a couple inches, half a foot. And the longer you sit there, the wider this crack begins to become, as well as the hole, the earth beneath the tree also begins to pull away and fall to a crevice into the ground. There's just a rushing sound of air that's coming from this crack. And you're peering inside, Alokian, especially you with your extensive vision through the darkness. You can't. It's almost like the darkness that this creature created. Your eyes just can't make out walls or of the hole. It's just almost like someone just began to just open just a blank void. And that sound rushing, you feel air pushing past you. And then from the shadows within come multiple large tentacles that begin to reach out as it bursts through the crack in the hole in the ground. I need everyone there. I believe that's you, Keth, and a Lokian that are on top. Go ahead and make dexterity saving throws, please. With these tentacles, you see wisp of shadow also just kind of moving out and then begin to spin around the tree. Kaz, you also see this from and hear this from where your position is on the ground as you're untying Tolan.
What's in the 9 hells? And I'll I'll quickly cut the binds that remain and rush toward to see what's going on.
To Tolan and the dwarf?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So you quickly cut their binds. They're rubbing their wrists and trying to just gather their thoughts.
Wait here. And I'll make my way toward the noise.
All right. Gillis slides down next to them. When
I
you
rolled
get
an 8.
an 8, okay.
And
10. All right. So as the explosion of shadow tentacles, you see probably maybe 8 or 10 of these large writhing tentacles that begin to just burst through the side of the tree and the hole in the ground, begin to just reach out towards each of you. You both take 13 points of bludgeoning damage and are now restrained as these tentacles reach out, grab you, and begin to crush you. You see that they also, beyond just grabbing you, they begin to grab the corpses that are on the ground and all around you.
It's probably not great.
no.
Because of your passive perception, you can also tell that, especially when they're grabbing you, they don't seem fully, like they're slightly translucent, like they're just made of this darkness and shadow that's coming out of this hole. They're just writhing around and grasping for whatever they can. Kaz, as you leap to the top of the hill on the side of the cliff quickly, it's not very far, you see these massive tentacles reaching out of the base of this tree.
I'll instantly firebolt one of the tentacles.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack.
I would say Kath
21 to
probably
hit.
take a swing as well
All right.
at one
Yep.
of them.
20 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
7 fire damage.
You hear no sound as the flames engulf this dark, translucent tentacle, but it does writhe back into the hole for a moment and then shoot back out, trying to reach out to you, but you're currently probably too far for these things to actually reach. Keth, you can go ahead, and also you want to chop at the one that's currently got you.
No, he will chop at the one with reach at that Alokian.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll against that, please.
Grab my 18.
18 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Eight damage.
You see your glaive cut through a bit of the tentacle's translucent body, whatever it is, and it does cut through, and you see a wisp of shadow just kind of spray out, almost as if it was blood, but then it just wisp up and begin to also spin around the tree. Now you see more wisp of darkness coming from the hole and coalescing around and just wrapping up and down and spiraling all around the base of the tree and now creeping to the top. Belkin goes ahead and takes a shot at the one that you just struck. I rolled a natural 1, so halfling luck. Okay. The bolt shoots through it, and it does enough damage finally for that tentacle to just shatter into a wisp of darkness and then coalesce with the rest of the shadows all around. Alokian, you're no longer restrained by the tree, or grappled by the tree. Keth, you currently are. You see the corpses that currently are grappled by these tentacles getting pulled down into the hole. You see an orc disappear. Another orc disappear. You see one of the villagers disappear into the hole. Keth, I need you to make me an strength saving throw, please, as the tentacle tries to pull you into the hole.
22.
22. You're able to pull free from the grasp of the tentacle. It's unable to pull you down, and you hold your ground. Still has you in your grip. Go ahead and make yeah, go ahead and make me. No, you already did it. That's fine. You break free from the grasp of the tentacle.
Okay.
As it does try to pull you down, you're able to pull away from it, and it does just kind of slip off of you, leaving just like this smear of like dark inky color across your stomach where it had you grabbed.
Can I attempt to pull the tentacle that is pulling a villager?
Yep. Go ahead and try to grab one, and just go ahead and make me a strength saving throw.
It's a natural 1 for, or no, sorry, looked like a 1 on the board, but it's a 7 for a 10.
You reach down and grab the hands of one of the dead women that are there. And as you do, your hands are wet, and unfortunately, just gets slips out of your hands and sucked down into the hole.
Oh, no. And I will dive towards the hole.
Okay.
Uh,
You have one of these writhing tentacles that's still out there seeking for something to grab a hold of. All right, let me see. Does a 24 hit your AC?
Yes.
All right. As you do try to leap down into the hole, one of these tentacles just wraps around you, grappling you once again. Take 10 points of bludgeoning damage, as it does grab you and restrain you at this point. It grabs you by the leg and just pulls you across the ground, and also begins to try to pull you into the hole, but doesn't quite get there this turn. We'll go back to the group of you, as the tentacles have pulled a couple villagers and orcs down into the hole.
Thing for D&D.
Keth will try to maybe grab one of the bodies too.
One of the villagers that are currently being pulled. There's
Is the boss orc being grabbed?
yes. So all of the orcs and villagers that are there currently are being grabbed. So there's 4 regular orcs and the 3 no, and the 1 boss that's there. The rest
Okay.
are grappling you and the villagers.
Okay. I'm actually gonna grab the boss orc.
Okay.
And attempt to get him to stop.
All right.
And throw him away. I'm gonna try to pull him out and throw him away, so
Roll.
he's out of its reach.
Yep. Roll me a. It's already grabbed a hold of him, so go ahead and roll me a strength saving throw to try to pull him free.
$26.
And you're able to rip the orc away from the tentacle. You hear a popping sound in its leg as the hip is pulled out of place, but you are able to pull him free from its grasp.
Okay. And I
The
will.
tentacle just kind of slaps the ground, looking around for it once again.
Okay. And I'll kind of throw it, hopefully out of its reach.
Okay. You toss him a few feet away for now.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Anyone want to do anything else in the meantime?
So I'm currently grappled by a tentacle, and it's dragging me towards the hole.
It is starting to pull you towards the hole, yes.
Okay, I do not resist it dragging me.
Okay.
But I would, if possible, can I?
It
cast
is
inflict-
also crushing you at the same time, just so you know.
That's okay.
All right.
I will. Can I attempt to cast inflict wounds?
Yeah.
Since it's holding me.
You're touching it. You can go ahead and do it.
Okay, let me just over to you. Inflict wounds.
Could I have raged as well? I'll just
Sure.
go into a rage. Might as well use. It'll protect me a little too.
Using a spell slot. Sorry, D&D Beyond is newer for me to actually use.
You're fine.
would be a 25 to hit.
Yeah, you definitely hit.
For a total of 22 damage.
You see the negative energy as you grasp hold of the tentacle that's got you around your chest right now and is dragging you in. You unleash that energy across its translucent, inky, slimy form, and it just seems as if it absorbs it.
Shit. Okay. I continue to not resist.
Okay. Kaz, do you want to do anything else?
Yeah, I'm gonna fire again.
All right, roll me another attack. Which one? There's currently 2 villagers and 3. Nope, only 1 orc now. That is currently at the top there, and also a Lokian that's currently being
Okay.
grappled.
Probably fire at the one grappling Alokian then.
Okay.
Um,
They're gonna follow suit and shoot at that one as well.
that's a 10.
A 10 misses, unfortunately.
Okay.
You're trying to make sure that you aim your firebolt at, precise enough to hit it, but not a Lokian. But you fire and it just goes through this just cloud of now dark shadows that's kind of just seeping out the hole, lifting up. Almost like a thick fog, but it's just made out of this wispy darkness.
Can I make any sense of what this might be?
Go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
Okay. Nice. 23.
This definitely looks like some strange version of a spell you've heard before that creates tentacles made out of translucent dark magic. And it looks similar, but this thing looks much more powerful than anything you've seen before. And as far as what's going on here, you know that these orcs were doing some sort of ritual. You didn't understand the language that they were speaking, but you know that they were saying specific phrases that seemed like words of magic that they were pulling from the dark side of the weave, which is actually the in between the lines of the weave, just the weave of magic. And perhaps it looks like they've accomplished whatever they set out to do.
Okay.
A Lokian. Belkin shoots down towards the tentacle. The bolt just flies right past it. Unfortunately, he misses. Another moment, the orc that is currently still grappled by the tentacles, as well as the other villagers that are currently on top, gets pulled into the hole as well. You still constantly see the crack slowly opening, and at this point it's probably 3 or 4 feet wide. Definitely large enough for someone to be pulled inside. The tentacle continues to crush you unless you wish to try to save at the end of your turn. Lokin.
Yeah, I'll try to save.
So you're going to try to break free?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength saving throw, please.
7.
All right. So, Alokin, you take another 16 points of bludgeoning damage. And everyone can see his body being dragged into the hole. Because you're not unconscious yet, it doesn't get you all the way into the hole quite yet. He's kind of at the base of the hole. And you're looking down and you see at this point, now that you're kind of in this mist of darkness, you can make out what's there, what's before you. There's this just dark, kind of muddy tunnel that's leading down into the ground. But what's odd is your vision seems to be dampened down here. Even with your trained eyes to see through the twilight, down here, your vision is still halved.
Okay.
But you see the beginnings of what looks like just this tunnel that's leading down into the ground. This dark shadows. You don't see the base of where these tentacles are coming from. They just seem like they're just jutting out of the shadows and darkness that's kind of pooling out. And those of you that are at the top, not in the hole, you can see this dark fog beginning just to fill the space that's seeping out of this hole.
Is Alokian's not in the hole yet?
He's kind of like being pulled into the hole. You can see some of his body's just still at like the top of like the base of this fog that's coming out, and the tentacles wrapped around his body, and he's trying to fight and can't break free, but he's also looking down into what's behind him, which is just filled with that shadow and darkness.
Okay, I'm gonna run up and grab Alokian if I can.
All right.
And attempt to pull him back.
All right.
Out of the
Lokian,
hole.
go ahead and make a strength saving throw at advantage with the help of Keth trying to pull you free.
We have a 19.
You're able to break free and rip your way through the tentacle, which is odd as your body actually moves through it, and its form shatters for a moment and then comes back together. You also see, as you do break free and pull away from the base of where you are, in the base of this trunk, in the hole that's there, see the bodies just drag beyond your vision down this hole. Keth, as you are there at the base of the tree as well, you do have dark vision, but down here, whatever's going on, it's hard to see. Even with the night eyes that you have, your vision is halved when you're looking down, so you can only see about 20 or 30 feet down there, and you also see the forms and bodies. Barely can make them out as they disappear into the darkness of the tunnel below.
We need to save the ones that are still living. He's gonna kind of try to pick Alokian up.
All right. So you pull him away.
Yes.
Okay.
Alokian will pull his arm away from Kath. Good at saving the living if we can't even protect the ones who are already dead. Whatever that creature is, it must die.
Well, then let's kill it. He's gonna kind of hold up his glaive.
Agreed. And Alokian dives for the hole again.
Okay. At this point, by the time both of you talk for a few moments, the tentacles are no longer visible, as there's just this thick darkness, this fog that's kind of just pluming out the base of the hole, and filling space around the tree. Just slowly begin to swirl up to the top, and the shadows that's already wisped to the top begin to just go beyond the tree and up into the air. You see tendrils just slowly reaching and creeping across the sky.
We have to end this. Alokian just dives into that hole.
Okay. When you dive into the hole, you don't feel the tentacles that are there, but you feel like the air is just thick, as you're just like almost pushing your way through. Beyond just like a fog, there's just a thickness to it, and you feel like this film kind of cross your skin as you begin to step down and drop down into this tunnel. The tunnel itself is about 10 feet wide diameter, and you can just see that it looked like the very earth just kind of just spread and broke apart. You see roots and dirt. What else is different in what you would expect, especially as the tunnel's going down, is it should be filled with water here in the vast swamp, but it's not. The walls are wet, and there's a bit of moisture on the ground and mud and rock and roots from the base of this tree, but there's no water that is there. Just this thick, voluminous shadow. And Kaz, as they step down into this darkness, into this fog, they almost disappear from the outside.
I'm going to call out. What is going on? Why? And I'm just going to keep firing firebolts at whatever's the closest thing, like closest tentacle, if I can see it.
At this point, there's no longer any tentacles that you can see. It's just this big volume of shadow that's kind of wisping around the tree and just pouring out of this hole.
Then I'm going to firebolt the tree.
Okay. Your fire hits the side of the tree, and go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. Come on. There we go. 13 fire damage.
Okay. You see it, the flames kind of spark across the petrified bark of the tree, but it barely scorches it, almost as if you're just striking stone.
Then I'm going to start rushing toward the shadow.
Okay. You hear Gila's voice. What? She looks to the others. We probably should go. And as you're going towards the shadow, 3 survivors begin to leave back from the way you've came.
Okay.
Okay, I guess.
As you begin to step down into this dark tunnel, those of you with the dark vision, I guess Belkin also drops down, lights a torch, and asks if he should follow along as well.
I guess we're going with the Lokian. And he's gonna kind of.
You see Belkin's light as he steps into this darkness, immediately just dim, only filling the space just basically around him. He can barely see a few feet in front of him, so he follows closely behind the group of you. You begin to hear sounds of strange voice emanating from everywhere or nowhere at the same time as you're going down. How fast do you guys want to go down this tunnel? Are you keeping an eye out for things, or are you just going to rush down the tunnel?
I would say Alokian at least is going to go fairly quickly while keeping his wits about him. You know?
Okay. All right. And what is the order that you wish to go down into this tunnel?
I assume Lokian's first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess would be a little ways behind, but jumping in after that.
As you're rushing down the tunnel looking for signs of anything, the signs of maybe the people that were there, the signs of more tentacles, beyond the shifting darkness that slowly, you can see it, Lokian. These plumes of shadows, almost like dark smoke, but it's not just kind of moving past you and back up towards the entrance of this place. The tunnel begins to wind, turn, and you feel as if claustrophobia is almost setting in as everything's just getting tight in around you, but the space has not changed in size. It just feels as though wherever you're going, it's like almost as if the air is thin, hard to breathe. The Lokian's moving up ahead of you guys. How far do you want to go down to the tunnel? How long? You're just going to keep going? Okay.
Yeah.
It winds and turns for about 45 minutes. Before you can see about 100 feet ahead of you, it turns and then it opens up. And you feel like you've been like on a pretty good angle going deeper and deeper into the earth. You can feel the pressure in your ears slowly get stronger, as if you have to pop them as you're getting deeper into the earth itself. But you can see that this tunnel kind of opens up ahead. And as you continue moving, you see what looks like, as you're getting to the mouth of what looks like maybe a cavern or something that's opens up. See stalactites and stalagmites jutting up and pointing down from the ceiling. You see rock and stone among the mud. No longer any roots that are visible, but the dirt slowly turned into stone the deeper you went into this tunnel. You still hear those whispers and strange sounds, but you also see, just kind of rolling across the ground, this dark shadow. It's moving toward you and towards this tunnel and jutting up and moving past you. All of you see this as you're heading down this tunnel following the Lokian.
Lokian, where are we going?
See
Going wherever these people were taken.
see no signs of... Well, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Who? Me?
Yeah. As you're looking for these people.
Boop, ba-doop, boop, boop. That is a 9.
You see no signs of them. No blood, no remnants of anything that they were wearing, no drag marks. By this time, you're not quite sure where they've gone, but you can see this cavern kind of opens up ahead of you. Even though you only can see about 100 feet or so, you can see into this next part, this ceiling that's probably about 30 or 40 feet high, and it goes maybe about 50 feet to both the right and the left. Though it to the right, it kind of turns, the tunnel kind of turns out of your sight, and this part of the cavern that opens up goes beyond where you can see. You can see rocks and, like I said, stalactites and stalagmites all around in this next part of the cavern, but you don't see any signs of anything living, at least. Still hear those whispering sounds as the shadow's still moving past you.
Okay.
I don't know why we're looking for the dead, when the living are probably dying in the swamp.
You hear...
People in the swamp are safe for now. These dead deserve a proper burial. Should we just give up on them? Should we give up on everybody then?
No, but we shouldn't give up on the living, is what I'm saying.
The living are safe for now, are they not? We destroyed what was out
The
there.
vast swamp is very safe. We've never ran into any trouble there, have we?
It's a little safer now.
We don't even know where they
feel like-
went.
I feel like every time somebody of ours winds up gone, we wipe our hands clean of the situation. Should we
Kaz,
not, for once, follow through and see this through?
Yes, we should. But I feel like we need to help the living.
We did help the living. Now I want to help the dead.
Yes, but they may be dead soon because they died
Well,
from
then
some
fine.
creature
Turn
in
back
this
around
world.
and go. I will continue on my own.
Kaz,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and roll me another Arcana check.
Okay. Oh. 10.
Okay. You're not sure what's going on here. You know you've traveled beneath the earth. You know they've created something to cause this to happen. But you can't put the pieces together. Keth and Alokian hear an echo, like a cracking sound, deeper within this cavern that opens up ahead of you. You can tell to the left, the tunnel continues. It kind of turns through the cavern. You can see there's another part of the tunnel that goes on beyond this cavern, but the cavern goes both to your right and left about 50 feet, and then past that as well.
I will continue forward.
Okay. You begin to walk deeper into this cavern. As I said, it is about 30 or 40 feet high. You see the jutting of the stalactites and stalagmites on the ground, and large rocks and hills that you begin to climb around. You continue down the tunnel or go deeper into the cavern part where the sound came from. The sound wasn't in the tunnel that goes to the left, but came from ahead of you, beyond like these large mounds of stones and buildup of calcium. And
I'm going to follow the sound
okay,
because I haven't heard anything up until this point, correct?
Yep.
Other than whispers.
Yeah, beyond the strange illusionary sound that's come emanating from nowhere.
Right.
Is everyone following Alokian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keth will huff. And he's
Okay.
gonna follow.
Alright. The group of you follow behind Alokian toward the sound that both you and Alokian heard. You climb over some stones and these like large mounds of boulders and rocks and move past some stalactites and stalagmites, and you can see now Alokian. Keth, your dark vision doesn't go quite that far, but you can see up ahead this cavern opens up, and then you see an edge, like a sheer cliff face. Beyond that, jutting from darkness below, are a number of small pillars or piles of stone or something that's just out there beyond this cliff edge. And as far as the cliff edge goes, it goes beyond your sight. You see nothing but this fog of darkness and shadow just kind of pooling up over the edge and coalescing towards that tunnel.
Okay.
Do you continue?
Yeah.
Okay. You go towards the edge of the cliff, and everyone's following him?
Yeah.
Okay. You go towards the edge of the cliff and hear that cracking sound once again, but it's beyond your sight within the darkness, just kind of echoing up out of this now chasm that you can't see as the walls of this cavern end. There's a cliff face that goes down beyond your sight. large just piles of pillars of stone just randomly out there in the darkness. And then, let's see. Right? And then Kaz, you feel something lash around your leg and a hook pierce through your flesh. Take 8 points of piercing damage, and we're going to go ahead and go right over to Tailspire.
Nice.
We're gonna die. We're gonna die.
Oh yeah.
Kith does not have very much health left.
I'm at half. We're good.
One moment. Right. Pull you guys over to it. Get out of here, Spotify. All right. Loki, I'm going to go ahead and give you permission for Belkin.
You guys remember fighting one of these? My game. Assuming I know what it is.
And we'll get the
Oh yeah. I recognize it. Cool map, by the way.
Yes.
well, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, does everybody have access to their tokens? I'm going to get the stream over to
Indeed.
our game. And I kind of set yourselves up around the Loki in there, where you think you were. But you didn't notice the strange tendrils laid out on the ground, or it was too late. And do initiative as well. Let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Natural 20 for a 23.
Nice.
Natural 20 for a 22.
14.
All right, so Alokian. So it is Kaz, Alokian. Go ahead and roll for Belkin, someone.
Andrew, you should roll on Tailspire.
Oh, I have no idea how.
Do you have that plug-in that we sent last week? Let me see if we can find it.
I think I do.
If you download that, you can just click on your sheet, and then it'll pull.
Right.
It'll pull something up. If you downloaded that.
I assume you want me to roll for Belkin, yeah?
That's
Yes,
who I was
please.
thinking.
Okay.
That's why I wasn't.
Do you know his modifier?
+3, I believe.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
I don't have his stats.
Oh no. Okay.
I think it's
Hold on.
+4, isn't it? Because he has a 20 dex.
Getting you a sheet here now. Oh
Either way,
no.
it's not great.
Okay, where is?
I was gonna say I think we can look at a sheet if it's in the.
Yep.
D&D Beyond, pretty sure.
He didn't put it in D&D Beyond.
It's not. It's not D&D Beyond.
Yeah, he only put it in Roll20.
You said you have a 23?
Yeah.
Okay, so I go after you. But before Loken, but the group of you have the surprise condition, so it gets its first round. As it does do 8 piercing damage to you, and you are now grappled.
Sorry, were you talking to Olivia?
That was Kaz.
Yep. Where would I be HP wise from before?
Let's say half.
Easy.
Let's just say half, just because I don't
Okay.
remember.
That's about where I was.
Yeah.
Before the tentacle fight.
Right. And that took 8. All right.
Yep.
Done.
All right. All right. It is now. It did its surprise. Well, let me make sure there was nothing else. So you are restrained. You have disadvantage on strength checks and saving throws. As one of its many tendrils hooked you into the leg and wrapped around your leg, is now beginning to slowly pull you closer. Let's see. So yeah, it will move you. If that's the... So it will move you closer to it. As now the stalagmite comes to life, you see a gaping maw full of sharp, jagged teeth open up as the tendril slowly pulling you closer to it. It is now your turn. Kaz.
Okay. Then, I will. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Summon Fae.
Okay.
I'm gonna reach down for my my gilded flower, and my eye will glow red. I will mutter a couple of words in Elven. It'll take a moment, so it does take my action. But a small, initially spectral looking until it fully forms, a kitten appears, floating next to me with 2 little wings flapping. It's got white fur, and like blue speckled patches throughout it. And it lets out a as it stands, as it uprights itself, and out of nowhere its paws grasp onto a sword and shield that appear out of nowhere.
So I don't have a kitten, so I'm going to give you a little white bunny.
That's perfect.
All right.
And
So feel free to place them wherever you wish.
yep. Gonna do right here.
Okay.
Behind the thing. Yeah. And then I'm gonna choose the option for fuming. So they have advantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its turn.
Okay.
And going to attack twice with a short sword. There we go. Oh, no, I gotta roll to hit first.
Yep.
There's no. Okay, so I guess it's my hit modifier. No, it can't be.
It probably would go after your spell attack.
Yes, you are correct. So if that's the case, there we are. That's 27 to hit
27 hits.
for.
We can take your d6 roll from earlier if you wish.
So that's 9 piercing damage plus.
Okay.
5 force damage for
So
the first hit,
14 damage.
and the second hit. Okay, rolling in Tailspire is.
Just grab the die and throw it.
Okay. There we go.
So
21 to hit
21 hits.
plus 7 piercing and 3 force for the second hit.
So 10 more. 24
And,
damage.
bonus action, I will yeah, no, that'll be it for my turn.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be it.
All right. Let's see. It will go ahead and make an attack against each one of you. Actually, we'll do one against. I'm assuming Belkin would be trying to hide. So if you want to go ahead and roll his stealth for me.
Your.
I love that it went down to the darkness.
It's a natural 20. So.
All right, yeah. So the creature does not notice Belkin creeping up. So it will attack the bunny. 18 to hit the bunny.
That hits.
All right. The bunny will go ahead and take. That's not the right one. "22 points of piercing damage as the creature turns around and bites him with its toothy maw.
All right.
And then it will make 4 attacks with its tendrils. The first one will be on the rabbit, or your fey creature. 16 to hit.
16 hits.
Alright, it is now grappled. It's restrained and has disadvantage on strength in checks and saving throws.
Okay.
Another one of the tendrils will attack a Lokian.
Okay.
21 to hit.
No.
Alright, you deflect the hooked tendril that shoots out at you. The next one will go after Keth. 17 to hit.
Yeah, and misses.
And then that is it, because it does not see Belkin currently. Then it will go ahead and pull Kaz closer to it. And it will pull... Yeah, the rabbit's fine there. Let's see. Then the lair will go ahead and act.
Oh! Oh!
As two large tentacles made of that translucent darkness just begin to coalesce over the side as from the shadows. First one will go ahead and move to here. And with its reach, we'll go ahead and try to attack Lokian. The large shadowy tendril slams down on the ground, but Lokian, you you bring your shield up to block at an angle and allow the tentacle to just glance off of you. Feel tremendous strength from this translucent darkness. This one will move there and attack Kaz. 20 to hit your AC, Kaz.
That'll hit.
This large, shadowy tendril comes down and smashes you for 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right.
And that is the end of Threat's turn. It is now Alokian's turn.
Okay. I will move closer to this thing just so that I'm also in melee.
Yep.
And spin myself. Yeah. I will.
You begin to hear the sounds of those voices quicken all around you.
Nope, don't like that. I will. Yeah, it is. Okay. I had something in mind until you popped out 2 tentacles. Um. Okay. I got it. I'm going to cast Moonbeam. Except mine's more of like a holy radiance. But I'll hold up my symbol of Ilmater to the sky, and a shining beam of light comes down.
Okay.
Let's see. So really, sorry. Creature enters the battlefield for the first time in turn. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, it shines down on him, and he has to make a con of 16 saving throw.
All right. One of the tentacles or the roper?
The tentacle in front of me.
Okay. And it's a dex save?
Constitution?
Constitution save? All right. What is the...
Yes, 16.
It fails.
All
You
right.
reach out and call upon Ilmater. And wherever you are, feel as though when you do, for a moment, that divine power is blocked. But then you pull from your inner strength and your connection with Ilmater. You're able to call upon him, breaking through whatever barrier, whatever place this is that's causing your divine power to be halted. You're able to strike the creature as you do call upon Ilmater's power and blast it. The moonbeam. Go ahead and roll damage. It fails.
What? It fails?
No, it failed its save.
Oh, I was like, you were like, go roll damage. It fails. I'm like,
No, it fails.
It fails, you
Uh,
said.
so it's only 6. But
And
the moonbeam is
yep.
there.
and what kind of damage is it?
Radiant.
Radiant damage. You see the tentacle almost recoil back as the radiant damage comes down and begins to blast the creature, or whatever shadowy tendril that this thing is. It almost breaks apart for a moment, and you see the radiant damage doing more than what you would have expected to this creature.
And then
And it was 10? What was the
it
total?
was
It was
6.
6. Okay, so got it. It seems to be vulnerable to divine powers.
Our dresser. And then the Bodrin's Gale allows me to still attack, right?
Yep. As a bonus action, you can make an attack.
Yeah. That one. Whew. That would be a 19 to hit.
A 19 hits.
Doing 5 damage.
5 damage. The blade strikes through the translucent shadow. It breaks apart slightly. And then it comes back together. All right.
That is my turn.
Belkin.
Belkin would... Let's see. He's going to... I can't move him, by the way. I know you said you were going to give me control, but I can't move him.
No. Now you should be able to.
Aha. So let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20. So he's going to try and get partial cover behind this rock.
Okay.
And he will fire his crossbow at the same tentacle that I've been.
All right.
I don't know what he gets to a bonus, but here we go. 8 plus whatever he gets. I think it's plus 6.
Yeah.
Plus
Let's
5.
just go ahead and say plus 7 for now, and we'll just roll with that.
All right, 15 to hit.
A 15 just hits the large, writhing, shadowy tentacle.
Okay, so and it's sneak attack damage, right?
Yep, because you were adjacent to it.
So it's a
Should be
3d6?
3d6.
Yep. So 46 total with his crossbow. And then just go ahead.
21.
Yep. 21. And you see Belkin.
Good job, Belkin.
Shoot at the tentacle. The arrow, the bolt piercing through the shadows. It seems somewhat resistant to that type of damage, but it still takes a large amount.
It would be magical, right? His hand crossbow is magical.
Not sure.
It is.
Oh yeah, that one is. Yep.
Plus
Yeah.
1.
Yep. So plus 1, and then his dexterity, which probably 3 or 4. So we'll say that's 25 total.
I don't know if that overcomes resistance. The resistance, I guess not.
Yes, it does. God, it was magical. So it takes 5. All right. All right. Who is next? It's now Keth's turn.
Oh, I don't know if you want a bonus action hide him probably too.
Yes.
I think would be smart.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check. I think he has advantage on that as well. So
He
give him-
would,
yep,
yeah.
because of his
He's a
cloak.
cloak.
Natural 20.
There you
Hey,
go.
you did.
He disappears.
So remember that you may have advantage.
Also, go ahead and roll me another d20 because he has disadvantage on attacks currently because of how dark and shadowy it is down here.
16.
All right, yeah, that still would hit.
Does that get rid of sneak attack?
I don't think so because he still has an ally adjacent to it because he
Okay.
gets. I think
I
he
don't
still
know
gets.
for-
We'll look it up later, but for now, we'll say no.
I can look it up in between my
Yep.
turn. Keth will move right here, and he's gonna pull out his glaive. And the moon touch glaive, does it give off light?
It does give off dim light.
Okay,
Almost
so
like
I'll
a
go ahead.
dim moonlight, especially when you strike with it. It leaves this streak of just like moonlight behind it that just kind of sparkles and slowly dissipates.
Nice.
Does
Maybe
does
that.
Moonbeam give off any light?
Imagine that would too.
Maybe.
Mine's down in a 5-foot radius, 40 feet high.
So I would
Those
say
are
it gives off
dim-
a dim light.
Yeah, dim light fills the cylinder, so
So it's still dim light, which would still
Trying to
give
help. Would
disadvantage.
still
Gotcha.
disadvantage. Okay. All right. Trying to see if I want to rage. I only have 2 left. I don't know what else we're gonna be fighting down here. So I will go ahead and rage. And then I will reckless Great Weapon Master this tentacle.
All right. Go ahead and make your attack.
Maybe it's gonna work for me. It's not seeming to work. Okay, I guess I'll just roll here. 2, great. And 11 plus 4, 15.
15 just hits.
Okay, this is not working. So I guess that's sad. That will be 22 points of slash, 24 points of slashing damage to
And
that tentacle.
you can see Keth's moon-touched glaive just cut down the tentacle as the shadows just break apart. It doesn't coalesce once again. It is now
Nice.
destroyed.
And then he'll
See
move.
the shadows just kind of recoiling back and just circling around your moonbeam.
He'll move over to this one and attack it. Reckless Great Weapon Master.
Okay. Hear it just sizzling on the ground as it's leaving behind just this inky black residue.
Oh. 19. Let me just roll for. Whoop! There it goes.
Throw it into the darkness.
All right. 23.
That hits.
Okay. Plus or for 21 slashing on this tentacle.
Yep, and it is magical, correct?
Yes.
Got it.
Slices into that thing.
Yep.
And a huffing. His rage is not coming from the enemies, but from Alokian.
that's fair.
Got it.
That will end his turn, though.
All right. It is now Kaz's turn. You are currently restrained, Kaz.
Okay. Then I'm gonna bonus action Misty Step.
Disappear out of its grasp, reappearing over there.
I'm gonna use my action to cast
And just so you know, when you're
Mirror.
attacking through into dim light, you'll have disadvantage on the attacks.
yeah, I'll cast Mirror Image as my action.
Okay.
And I will have Fickle attack twice on her turn.
It is flanked because of where Keth is, because he has reach.
Superb.
So it'll be just a normal roll.
Okay. Oh, I don't
Yeah, and I
see
forgot
the-
about that, Keth. For your attacks, it would have been just a normal roll. But
Okay.
moving forward,
Why is that?
because of the dim light, attacking inside of dim light, because
Okay.
how dark it is in here, you have disadvantage on attacks.
Okay.
27 to hit.
Got 27 hits.
No, not that. Come on. Clear all. I'm just gonna do that again so I can just roll the damage for both hits. That's 22 to hit.
22 hits.
Oof. So 4 slashing damage,
All right.
and then 1 force for the first hit.
All right.
Second hit coming in stronger with 9 slashing and
And did you-
4 force.
Did you roll at disadvantage for the attack?
For the second?
For both attacks?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, you have disadvantage for the attacks inside this place because of the...
It's not flanked because he's on the other side.
Oh, yeah. So it was a normal roll. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
What was the damage? 4 and a 6.
For this one, 9 and 4.
Right.
And then, yeah, that'll be it.
All right.
Be it for my turn.
It will go ahead and make an attack against you, Alokian, as another tendril reaches out and tries to grab a hold of you. 15 does not hit. You feel its hook trying to find a place across your body to get in and grab you, but is unable to. Keth, it'll do the same. It also misses. Another tendril follows you and reaches out toward your position. But you have mirror image, right?
Yep.
You have a 20 to hit.
Okay. So that hits my mirror image.
Yep. So the hook goes through your one of your mirror images and it disappears. And one more. We'll go ahead and... it does not see Belkin with its passive perception. So to make an attack against the rabbit, well, your fey creature.
Mhm.
And an 18 to hit it.
That hits.
All right. So it pulls... so the only ones it currently has is the rabbit. And it pulls it in. And makes a bite attack against it.
Okay.
Has advantage because you're currently restrained by it. Yeah, so 21 hits.
Yep.
And $23. So your fey creature takes 27 points of piercing damage as
Echo
this
goes and disappears.
as this creature just begins to devour it with its large toothy maw.
As soon as the tooth hits and the damage is dealt, she disappears.
Right. And then the tentacle will go ahead and attack Keth. Did you reckless last turn, Keth?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
Okay. Does a 19 hit your AC?
Yes. It does.
Alright, it slams down against you. This tendril of darkness. Take 11 points of bludgeoning damage. It begins to just smash you. And that'd be the end of the bad guy's turn for the threats. The Lokian. Sorry guys, I'm crashing, so I'm gonna have to have me a stack here.
You again.
Cool.
Let me just see what this is. Okay. I will spend my action moving my moonbeam on top of the mouthy rock.
Okay.
And so it
Needs to make a save.
a con 16. Yep.
Alright, it passes.
So it takes half. Oops. So that'd be 4 radiant.
Alright. It does not seem... You said 4? Vulnerable to radiant damage like the tentacles are.
Okay, does it look like it got hurt at all, or?
It did. Yes, it did. It just was not
Okay.
vulnerable to it.
Gotcha. And then bonus action, Bodrin's Gale. $22 to hit.
22 hits.
Okay. For 8 slashing.
And to carve away at its stony outer hide. The tendrils just writhing around, hooks flying all over the place, but it's unable to grab you. Anything else, Alokian?
I believe that is all I can do.
And you said you currently have...
Yes.
Alright. It is now Belkin's turn. He is hidden over there. He has 2 targets.
He does. He's going to fire at the other tentacle thing.
Okay.
Is that at disadvantage or advantage?
It would be
Or
at
normal.
advantage because he's hidden.
Okay. But disadvantage because of the
Yes.
dim
Yep.
light?
So just
So
a
just
normal
normal.
roll. It will be sneak attack though.
17 plus 5, 23.
23 hits. Go ahead and
Or
roll damage.
22.
Yep.
And for these guys, for a total of 13 piercing.
Yep. Plus 4. So 17.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Again, his bolt shoots through the air, striking the tentacle that's just slamming down on Keth. Keth is picking himself up. The bolt strikes through it. You see it shatter for a moment, but then comes back together.
And then
Try to hide again.
The bonus action hide.
Yep.
Probably not.
All right.
It's probably like a 10.
Yep.
He has advantage on it, correct?
Yep. He does have advantage on it.
There you go. Roll her again.
So 19.
19. Okay. Belkin can hiding behind the rock. He's probably hidden from the roper, but he feels shadows just kind of creeping across his body as they kind of pool up around stone, away from your moonbeam currently, so around the roper. But he can feel, and everyone can kind of feel this, that's not right directly next to the moonbeam. The darkness kind of just pooling up your legs, across your back, giving you chills. Keth.
Okay, so because my glaive is drawn, right? That gives me dim light, correct? Okay, so that means I can see like I'm in bright light.
You can see like you're in bright light. Yeah, so right around you. Right.
Okay. So I can reckless and get advantage
Uh-huh.
on this guy.
Yep.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Just checking. Wanted to make sure. So I will reckless Grey Weapon Master this one in front of me.
Yep.
Hopefully it
Yeah, as long as you're
does.
adjacent to it, because it only gives off like the dim light right around you.
Okay. 21
21 hits.
for 28 damage,
Ooh.
slashing damage.
And that strike cuts the tentacles in half, and you can see shadows break apart, and this time don't come back together.
Perfect. He'll slice through that one and then walk over or kind of move over
Okay.
next to a Lokian. He'll actually, let me see. 3, 4, 5.
The
I
fey
think
creature's
it's
no longer there.
enough to get on the other side just to help a Lokian.
All right.
And he will swing at this guy. His back, Great Weapon Master. Reckless. Whoops. I just dropped it, but that doesn't matter. 18 and 18.
All right. An 18 misses. It strikes the back of the creature, but is unable to get through its tough, stony hide.
Okay. And then it's up to you, Mind. With Great Weapon Master, if I knock a creature to 0, I get a bonus action attack.
Go for it.
Was that a creature that I?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
It was an entity.
Okay, that works for me. He'll go ahead and try Great Weapon Master one more time. See if he can get it. I'm afraid that's gonna screw me over, but that's fine. Yeah. 14. Little miss.
14 misses.
I'd have missed anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay. That is that's Keth's turn.
All right. Let's see. It is now your turn, Kaz.
All right. Okay. Bonus action Blade Song.
Okay.
And is Belkin still hidden?
He's hiding. Yes.
Okay, good.
You can't see him with your passive perception.
Super. And there's dim light around the rope, right?
There's actually, yes, dim light currently on the roper. There's this just beam of moonlight shining down, piercing through the darkness.
Okay. In that case, then I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to cast Chromatic Orb on it.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a 12.
12 misses. The chromatic orb just shoots right past as you're trying to aim and not hit your companions. Does go off to the darkness. What sort of element was it?
Acid.
Acid. Okay. You see the streak of green light shoot past. Just go beyond sight.
Okay. And is taking a potion an action or bonus action? I don't remember.
For us, it's normally an action, but for us, we said it's bonus action.
Beautiful. Okay, perfect. Then I'm going to drink a potion of healing.
Okay. So we're going to go to the Roper's turn.